Hello, and welcome back to another episode of me making a park in Jurassic World Evolution 2, while trying not to lose my mind in university. In the previous episode, we made this lovely little habitat for our Stegosaurus and Diplodocus. Continuing on our Jurassic adventure, we're going to be moving a little further in this quadrant and creating our first carnivore exhibit. So, let's get started, I guess. So, I first want to start here, and I want this to come out on an angle here. And now, instead of it being as curvy as our other exhibit, I want this one to have a little bit more of, I guess, jagged edges. So we're going to go in there, and we're going to make a corner. So now we now have the outline that we are going to use for our Allosaurus exhibit. Now, with Allosaurus, we're actually going to be I'm thinking that I don't really want to use the electrified fences because I feel like they're a little mean. And besides, the concrete ones get the job done just as well without actually hurting the creatures that we're going to be having. But that does bring us an interesting challenge in that how exactly are we going to actually view the Allosauruses? Fence. So, these concrete barriers here, lovely jubbly, but down here is where we'll do a little bit of a switcheroo. So, once again, I'm going to grab the invisible barriers. I'm going to go with the marked ones just because they make life a little easier. Whereas unmarked would not be. So, I'm going to go with a mesh wall here, which may seem very dangerous, because it kind of is. But hush now, we don't need to talk about the logistics of this park. Grabbing onto the invisible fence instead of trying to actually grab the decorations. which is a problem. One that I'm not quite sure how I'm going to solve. That's how. We actually... They're like... It's because those are bordering each other, so... Not to worry, it'll be fixed in a moment. It will return to its glorious glory. And just like that, we have made the same mistake. Hold on. Let there be some damn light. First order of business. Second order of business. Delete the fence again. Third order of business. Realize everything is messed up and can contemplate what exactly to do. Fourth order. Select everything first. And move it a little further back. And did it pay off? No, it now made everything infinitely worse because now everything is inside the fence. Come on, guys. Work with me here. Oh, that took way longer than it needed to. Just like that. Now, there's a little way for, you know, that can't be entered, but there's a little staff entrance now. And just like that, you can enter into the exhibit if you are a member of staff only, which we will say is how we feed them. I want to put a little staff only sign so that people know not to go in there. sign means we are not viable to any lawsuits. Because that is exactly how that works. Yeah, little staff only area, because that way since this will be the first exhibit that has feeders, that way the staff can actually get in there and feed the creatures. Now we do basically the same thing over here, except without the entrance. Is shortening evermore. Before I must return to the hell that is registering for classes for my senior year of college, which will be a fun endeavor for the whole family. Are you kidding me? Come on, damn it. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. So now, these may not seem very thick and protective. That's because they're not. So we're going to add a little barrier in front of them. We're going to use the barricades. So, just a little bit of that to make sure that they don't get too close to where they shouldn't be. And there we go. Is it ethical? Debatably. Is it safe? It is definitely safer than letting them just walk right up to the guests. Doing that little spike is just a safety precaution. And that's how we're going to justify it to ourselves. So, now, to add the Allosauruses themselves. Allosaurus. And they seem to be invisible, which is always what you want to see in your theropod dinosaurs. But here we go, no longer invisible. Let's get a bunch of them. Not a ludicrous amount, but a good amount. And I absolutely hate the pattern that they have. So I want to do... actually, I quite like how this one looks. But I want to... Yeah, I think that I don't like about the patterns is that they're all, like, outlined. Like, if you notice, there's a little bit of, like, a dark edge to them. And it just, like, irks me a little bit. It's not the fault of anyone, it's just a personal preference. And I prefer them generally without, because I think, like, that counter shading is super cool. No, I don't really want the Dominion one. Okay, but these ones... I can make that work. I think. Because I do want to include some of these Dominion versions. Because they can cohabitate. So may as well let them cohabitate. And let's get a pink one. I feel like that's good. The game is definitely having a connection, which I can't really blame it for. But it is making my life significantly harder than it needs to be. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Allosauruses are gone. But why have I returned 2 days later and not, you know, right after I completed registration? Well, you see, the great thing about registering for classes is that it never works as you want it to, and things are always a pain in the ass. And I don't even know how exactly I am going to describe, you know, the horrors that transpire. It's just not a good time. To bring back some of these Allosauruses and spawn after everything went away. So I don't even remember what they looked like. So I'm just going to go with vibes from, I guess. Yeah, the green one. You know, we got a whole rainbow of Allosauruses. But I had a bit of a stroke of inspiration about what to do with this area here in my long absence. And what I'm thinking is making a little area that they can go to and basically creating a shelter like you would see in Planet Zoo and the Lakes. So I'm going to use these lagoon rocks. And hopefully this will work out in my favor. This won't look dumb. Because the base is creeping something that has a intrigue, I think. And which can be expanded with being which closest, I think. For anything really. This is going to take a while, isn't it? The answer is yes, it probably will. Will it be worth it? Well, there's only one way to find out. The answer is looking like a resounding maybe. Question is, can they get under there? It's looking like a yes. So, to incentivize them to enter here, I'm going to put a feeder there, as well as some other things. So, let's get some sand in here, just to separate it from the rest of the enclosure. We're gonna not do that because that has a... Huh. You know, I don't know what happened, and I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I will fix that later. But in the meanwhile... I'm gonna add some feeders. So that way they're incentivized to come up here if they wish to eat. Well, it's good that my decorations are still working. So I do want to add a little bit of spice to these decorations so that it looks like it's something other than just, you know, some meat we placed on the floor. So I'm going to be using these Stegosaurus skeletons. Laying them on their sides. So you move into the ground so you don't see that they're laying on their sides. I'm doing the same with the other one. My face is itching horrendously. Camera controls in this game, not the most Swiss. But hey ho, they'll do fine. Walk under this archway. You can look through these mesh fences that connect up into the ceiling. And you can see the Allosauruses feeding. Now that main little viewing feature is done, let's make the actual enclosure look nice. I'm thinking of doing another plateau. This time I'll have the plateau more in the middle. is not because they're unhappy, but just dominance displays, as one does. Such is life, I guess. What I would like to do is add a little bit of some sense to this exhibit, because I feel like the last exhibit was lacking in that uniqueness that we had in that first one. So what I'm gonna do is add some mist to these little pools, and subsequently in the forest. Just so the habitat has a little bit more atmosphere than just, you know, than just being an Allosaurus habitat. So this side looks pretty spiffy, but this side of the habitat is got a bit to be desired. Using that mist, that gives it a little bit of something. Don't want to overdo it, though. I say as I overdo it. So what else can be added to give it a little bit of something? I want the Allosauruses to have a bit more privacy, because I'm thinking that they're animals that want a bit more seclusion. Hence why our viewing areas aren't glass, but instead this mesh, because it kind of blocks out the view a little more. As well as them having all that mist. Well, first of all, let me add some binoculars to these areas, come to think on it, so our guests can actually see the Allosauruses that we have worked so hard to imprison. And a couple benches here. And I want to turn this into an area that isn't just another open plains area. So instead, we're going to give the guests a little bit of something more. Now, good as that is, it's not exactly little bit of that. You know, give it a little bit of something more. And then let me grab these and shift them back a little bit because they're a bit too far up. I'm going to ignore the path a little bit and how that's a little bit off. Instead, what I'm going to do is add some more vending machines, if I can find them. So, a little souvenir on the way out of the Allosaurus house. Some light snacks. And some cold drinks, because I feel like guests will definitely need them after watching an Allosaurus eviscerate something. And some lights would probably be smart. What lights have I been using? I've been using the marine lights in this yellow. So, just light some... That is a bad sign. How did you... It's because the barriers aren't real, aren't... Okay. Barriers are a level 3. Okay, I'm just gonna delete the barriers, because they're not really doing anything. And because they're an underpowered block, or not block, but an underpowered fence, they're just going to get targeted by the Allosauruses. Or the Allosauruses are just trying to break out because of a mild inconvenience. And it's because this one's a greedy bastard. You know what, the hell with it. You can have 4 goats, for all I care. Greedy bastards. Alright, I'm gonna put the barricades back then. Shouldn't be trying to break out anytime soon. Yeah, but you never know. So let me check out this area for viewing the buggers. It's not bad. These binoculars are... Well, that one's in the cage, which probably not the wisest thing to be. So make sure that they're outside, because we want people to not put their faces right up against the mesh where they can get their fingers or anything bitten off. Now, in terms of here, I'd like to add another statue. This time I'll add the Allosaurus statue. And I'll add both of them, as well as a little sign. Is there an Allosaurid sign? There is. I love mods so much. So we add the Allosaurus sign. Put a little light down here. And here. Sink those a bit into the ground. Maybe I'm just not allowed to have fun. What fence is broken? Oh, the barrier fence. Why? Because he is moderately hungry. Let me turn the time back to day. They are so fussy. You have plenty to eat. You are just choosing not to. And you... well, you're just being a dick. What I'm now thinking is I should put something else in this exhibit alongside the Allosauruses. But I feel like this is an enclosure that is a good size for them. However, this area is very empty, and I'd like it to be more than just goat land. But all the while, I can't think of anything more for it to be. So I'm just going to cover it up with some forest. Just eat the goats if you're hungry. There's 5 of them. Alright, let me stop recording real quick and try and fix this UI issue. And once again, we return to our Allosauruses of infinite misery. Go away from the feeder. Go away from the fence. Go have fun by the feeder. Or kill a goat. That works too. Alright, I'm just gonna get rid of these barrier fences. They're not doing anything. Considering the Allosauruses just like breaking them. What I am gonna do is add the elephant grass back in. Because I love elephant grass so much. And I wish that it was part of the base game. Well, I want to do this. And why are you trying to break everything? They have no reason to try and escape, but they're doing it just to annoy me. I don't have escapes on high. They shouldn't be doing this. It's a comfortable dinosaur. It shouldn't be trying to break out of its enclosure. I don't know why it's doing it. This has never been an issue before. They're just hurting themselves. So I'm going to continue to ignore them. Now, there is a chance Allosaurus number 2 has never moved a single moment in his life. And that's starting to look more and more true. And there we go. It is now a fixed creature. It does have a purple square on it, which is not inspiring confidence. So I'm just going to save real quick. But with that, I think the Allosaurus exhibit is complete. So now Gonna go get some scenic shots and finally go to bed and put this episode to an end.